Hello and welcome to my retreat report number 2. I've been in my version of a mostly informal retreat for about 2 months now, and my rhythms are moving into the closing phase of this process. So, I wanted to share a little bit about how this process has been unfolding. The primary purposes for this retreat were three. The first was recharging. I needed to take a lot of time and space to replenish my physical body, to reduce external noise that was creating a lot of internal noise, and create space and like a culture medium for the processes of recentering, the second focus of the retreat, coming back to my center and in closer touch with my own rhythms and life force and my needs, and in particular, what has been moving through this being at this time. What is needed not only in a immediate way, but also at the deeper levels of the psyche and spirit. And from that place of recentering to engage in the third part of this retreat process, which has been refocusing, which in some ways is almost like a very informal, extended, and very mildly paced vision quest of a sort. So I feel pleased and excited to share the vision that came to me. I've drawn it as a mandala, and this drawing goes way outside the circle in many portions of it. Here it is, my beautiful mandala. Like many creative works, there's multiple layers of symbology in this image. It began as this core part of this image, and as I was sketching, doing a thumbnail sketch in my journal, additional components made themselves known to me. The rays coming out of the flower petals, and during the drawing of it, it ended up being much larger than I anticipated, and that's the size it wanted to be. So I let it be that way. And this was one of the final pieces that came out. This red circle up here. So I love it as a drawing in and of itself. I've been playing with the water-based, non-toxic, kind of felt tip sort of pens, the drawing pens that I find in the child section of the arts and crafts supplies, and I'm using these more recently as a media, because when I use colored pencil, especially when I'm doing a drawing with the intention of having it be this cleanly executed and detailed, it takes hours and hours. I start with this pencil sketch, and then I laboriously erase part of the pencil line to just leave a ghost, and then I ink in the parts that'll be inked, and then I move to the coloring stage, and anyway, I am very pleased with the outcome of this one. So, just to share some of the symbology and the meaning of this, I there is this green mm, vessel, if you will, that is very uterus like in its shape. Um, and here is the, in the center, is a ball of roots with 7 rays. And then you can see there are 7 leaves that also come. So, like any plant, the roots are a very important part of the system of nourishment. There needs to be rootedness. Um, and this is the generative force, which expresses outward. And this red for me clearly and strongly represents self care. So much of my life, there has been a prioritizing of other care. And um, part of my healing and maturing over the decades has been learning the importance of self care, not selfishness, that real loving and nurturing and honest, genuine caring for this being, as Tara Brach says, the life that is here. It's very important to be able to sustain caring for others in terms of action, to have the one's being regularly replenished. Otherwise, depletion and burnout, and even disillusionment and despair um, can and will follow. So, here is my priority system, the order of priorities. This is the first level of priority, secondary level of priority, third or tertiary level of priority, and then not part of that system, but arising from that system or supported by or coming out of that system, rather than calling this the quaternary. The right word for me is ancillary, because it has the connotation of has the right connotations for me. So the core primary priority is self-care. And like the organicness of most of this drawing, I need to follow it as I have been doing in retreat time in a very organic way, touching into the life of this being and the rhythms, and discerning what the needs are and addressing them from there. Not sure yet what the secondary and tertiary priorities are. I do know that this ancillary layer of priority is the other care, the caring for others in terms of practice and process. And this is actually very scary to me in some ways. Um, just from my own uh, life experiences, including family of origin experiences. Um, and I'm by no means unique in this. There, I got the kind of, this being developed the kind of attachment relational framework. I don't know what the right words are, but it's about attachment styles. Anyway, so there's a place in me that really got the a young part of me, very young, really got the biological, the organismic experience of, if my caregivers are not okay, then my literal survival is at risk, is under threat. And so I developed an attachment style, in part, that involves prioritizing care of the other, especially those closest to me, those I feel closest to. Um, in a way that, and many times in my life, has been very automatic, of not even having it cross my mind whether I could do a thing or not, let alone any sense of my having any needs. The thought never even would never even enter my mind. So it feels scary and exciting and very courageous, to continue as I have during retreat, as I move into a more outwardly rather than inwardly directed phase of my life, to regularly touch back into this awareness of this priority system, especially in an experiential way, so that it helps guide my behaviors and actions, which is what a lot of these, the green leaves represent. So the I don't know yet all of what they are. Um, like Albert Einstein's guiding visions that he received, um, insights into the way the universe works that took him many, many years to work out mathematically. This is a symbolic image that the meanings of it will unfold for me over time. So I do know the central leaf is, about physical health. And I'm calling that, here's some crib notes that I've made for the pieces I'm aware of at this time. So this one is about cultivating functional foundations. So in my little crib notes, the physical health is not simply about the body. It also includes the mind, the emotions, the psyche, the spirit, and my being in general. Over here, this one is about liberating the life force. So this is about doing a next round of deeper diving into the psyche, um, uncovering any unresolved trauma that might be there, uh, that needs attention, and freeing up, um, the life force that would be bound up in whatever has been repressed or ignored. Um, ignored, uh, not yet been attended to. This one is about providing a platform and and for me at this time in my life, what that means is preparedness in terms of end of life phase and end of life issues, and also ending life preparedness to prepare things like documents and durable medical power of attorney stuff. I still have that in place. Anyway, I need to look at all of that stuff again because I did it last like 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. So, what may seem very ironic is that by handling these issues, it actually can provides peace of mind and liberates energy and attention for the process of living. So it's possible to engage in life more fully and with much greater ease when I know that I've handled the pieces of it I can handle. So, last few things here. This red circle here is the same, very similar red to the self care. So, when it comes to offerings to others, offerings for and to others, the ancillary priority, um, part of this is like rays of a sun coming out, and it also it's like one aspect of it is like the light that shines forth from one's own being just by simply by inhabiting this beingness. Um, that there doesn't necessarily have to be actions in order for the light to radiate. Uh, I like how Muji expressed it on a talk. It was something like, he said something like he was questioning someone's uh, concern. And it was like, so it's not okay to just sit on a shelf and glow. So that's part of what this speaks to. That I need to continue cultivate the beingness, and that's the core place from which my light shines in the world, and I don't have to do anything else for individual, society, and all beings to benefit. It so lets me off the hook from all of the feeling like I have to get it right. I have to get it right. So, part of it is the offerings that I make are letting go of the outcome. I make the offerings that are possible for me. And not only that, all of these offerings, while there are other directed, they must be ultimately self-caring, self-nurturing, replenishing myself, replenishing this being so it feeds the core of the generative capacity. Without this, then all of this will diminish. So I have to remember this primary priority of self-care. So as I choose to take on tasks or projects like these videos that have a substantial component of being an offering, um, a value for and to others, it's only okay for me to do it in ways that um, are sustaining. They're sustainable. They feed back. They feed back and are food for me as well. So I guess the very last piece, I haven't touched on the blue here. That's the basis of the circle of the mandala. It goes through. You can't see the pencil lines here. The blue, the sky blue. Um, Not sure. It might represent mindfulness. Also, when I was young, blue was my favorite color for a long time. Multiple shades of blue, but it's definitely the blue hue. So that's what I know for now. Um, I suspect by the end of the month, at the latest, um, I will have shifted out of this retreat phase. And I feel joy, uh, excited anticipation, gratitude. Oh, and a sense of peace in my heart. So I'm happy to share this, and I'm happy for this being, of this unfolding of this next layer, this next deeper layer of learning what self care means and why it is so vitally important. Thank you very much for listening. May you have many blessings in your day and your week and your month, in your year and in your life. Namaste.